November 23, 1979. Dear Diary. All my colleagues are dead, but their screams still echo across the building. I found them one by one, their mouths agape and eyes white dead. They froze in shock as if they gazed into the ugly eyes of an impossible god. Their pale faces spoke morbid volumes, and the bodies had all dried up resembling leather. All of them stood in the exact same position against the wall and pointing at an abhorrent invisible thing in front of them. I had never seen any human being like that ever in my life. Silence slowly settled in the building like black snow falling from the sky, accompanying the world's end. I don't know what kind of hell they saw, but I knew for sure that this place would be our tomb. I would die too, no doubt about it. The dried flesh statues reminded me that the infinite darkness would claim my life too. The Arctic storm raged outside, and the winds blowing at high speeds rendered my hopes for any coming help and, thus, my salvation to absolute zero. It felt like whatever killed them did it swiftly and then vanished into the facility's walls. After they left this earthly realm, an uneasy feeling of anxiety and loneliness clawed into my mind. Dark clouds took shape in the gloomy sky of my brain. The inner storm felt like a lethal disease now. It advanced throughout my mind and body, eating away at everything it could have eaten and turning me into a pile of misery and despair. I don't even know how it happened. I woke up as usual and went to the kitchen to eat breakfast. To my utmost disbelief, I found no one there. Breakfast was before 8 a.m., and we had to go on with our daily research duties after finishing. The people that sent us here told us the mission would last 6 months. They accommodated us with everything: food, drinks, and great paychecks. They only expected us to find an object that they believed crashed the Earth thousands of years ago. The team and I gladly took upon the expedition and branded our employers conspiracy nutcases. We all laughed about the whole thing, but maintained our professionalism and work ethic and tried to find whatever item they wanted us to find. We never knew where these people came from, but we knew they believed 100% that an artifact of extraterrestrial origin had fallen at the North Pole. So we started doing tests and scans. Nothing came up. We foraged certain parts of the ice where they told us the thing would be. Nothing again. It felt like looking for the needle in the haystack. Nothing. 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 Even though we knew it had to be a hoax, we decided to indulge our bosses and try to find the thing. The deal on the table said that if we didn't find it in 6 months, we would go home and keep the money. Diary, if I could turn back time, I would. You have become my only friend right now, my confidant. When I began writing these words in your pages, I wanted them to be a warning for whoever would find them. I cursed our employers for leaving us to die. I cursed the weather and whatever God existed. Everyone had abandoned us, left us in this place to rot. All hope is lost. After coming back to my senses and considering the situation, I did a perimeter check twice a day. Once in the morning and once before I went to bed. Sleep felt like an alien concept to me, just like that damned artifact we had to find. In the first days, nothing happened. Everyone stood in their place, with the same demeanor and shock plastered all over their faces. After that, their teeth began falling off, and the dark thoughts nested inside me like a parasite eating away at everything. When each tooth hit the ground, it felt like a countdown tick-tock. Time went by as I stood there with my dead colleagues. Their toothless mouths made it even harder to look at them. Their faces held terrible secrets inside, only a shell of their former selves now remaining. Their eyes had vanished, leaving behind small black holes. I saw a rat going inside one's head. It squeaked with excitement as if it had found a long-lost treasure of nightmares made of gold. The storm didn't relent. Supplies ran low, and my mind's sanity meter neared empty. I would die of starvation in agony, is what I thought. But maybe it would have been better if the killer of my co-workers would get me and ended me swiftly. Seeing them like that over and over and over again made me think about how the employers would handle this tragic event. but I already knew the answer. They would go to the wives and kids at home and say their husbands and fathers died in an unfortunate accident. Maybe a lab explosion took place. Maybe food poisoning demanded their lives. Maybe a vial broke, and the exposure made them very sick, and they couldn't survive. The men in black suits would then present their false condolences and maybe shed a crocodile tear or two. They would fake feelings of empathy and tell the families they would be taken care of. A compensation package would ensure that the kids go to college. When the families would ask for the bodies of their husbands and fathers, their employers would say venomous words in the vein of "I'm very sorry, but there are no remains left." And then they would explain in minute detail how the bodies had vanished. Little would the families know that the bodies would probably be contained in a secret facility for secret studies to determine the cause of death. I felt relieved at the thought. No one would ever cry for me. At least there would be no lies to tell and no blood money to compensate the family. The constant checking of the perimeter took its toll on me. I couldn't move any of them. I saw my colleagues being dead longer than alive. Their human faces became blurry, and I forgot how they looked before. After one of my usual walks in the aisles of the dead, I heard a kin falling. The sound reverberated through the halls of this concrete necropolis. My heart froze. Diary, I came back to you running as fast as I could. The bodies aren't there anymore. Do you want to know where they have been moved? To the ceiling. Something glued them all to the ceiling. They still have the same contorted faceless faces, and they point to what must have been their demise. Yes, the screams. A cacophony of screams called my name. Yet, I could hear each voice distinctly while it pulled away at the strings of my sanity. They called for me to join them in death forever. My eyes became endless pools of despair, like fountains in which I would drown over and over again. Maybe I was dead already, and this was my hell. I heard squishing sounds, then a thud. The screams stopped all of a sudden. Silence took over this tomb, and I felt sure that these had to be my final minutes alive. Fear showered me. Another growl shook the walls of the compound. I turned around and ran until I had no breath left. I hid behind a cabinet in one of the administrative offices. The blackness surrounded everything, the smell of dust and mold combined trying to infiltrate into my lungs. The beast, the disease that had killed my colleagues, bid its time, waiting for me to give up on life and hand myself over to it. I peeked around the corner, and my colleagues' dried flesh suits stood as one sentient body. I didn't even know who was who. Arms flailed around, and the heads were glued to the chest in a grotesque display of abominable dead art. Some wanted to speak but couldn't. Others tried to move their eyes around, but the eyes were not there. It was as if the newly born monster was learning how to manifest itself into our world. The spiraling hands and legs kicked everything around. The glimmer of hope that I had left began to diminish. When I peeked again, there was nothing there. I must have lost my mind. But, diary, I swear the thing was there. It still flashed before my eyes. The gruesome details, the former human men and women from my team, their contorted faces, and everything else are etched in my brain like a permanent marker on a sheet of white paper. // Diary, it's been a few days since I came to you. Or months, years, I don't know. I don't have any food left. The corpses aren't there anymore. I don't know where they are. I think they climbed in the vents, and they sit there. Earlier, they screamed my name again. Should I go with them? Should I join them? Maybe they have food. Perhaps it's better where they are right now. What do you think, diary? Why aren't you ever speaking to me? You think I'm crazy, don't you? You think this is all in my mind. Maybe you're in league with the beast. Are you telling it what I am telling you? Sorry. I lost my marbles there for a second. Diary, I saw a trail of maggots earlier. They didn't look like they were from around here. From Earth, I mean. They followed other methodically as if they had a secret mission. Do you know what I did? I ate them all. I picked them up and ate them. They were so tasty and fat and juicy. It tasted like the best beef in the world. Diary. But, you know what? You know what? I think they came back to life in my stomach. I think they are returning the favor right now. I feel them eating me. My teeth fell off one by one, and I think I lost a lot of weight. And after that, I could see through my skin. I could see them moving around in my body as they ate and ate away at everything I had inside. Diary, I think this is it. I think the maggots won. The employers got their fucking prize. I hope they eat them too so that they can eat them too. I don't know if that makes sense. It doesn't really matter. Diary, this is it. Promise me you'll take care of yourself in this wall crack. And I genuinely hope that the person who finds this page takes heed and goes back to their everyday lives. Maybe they have a wife or husband and kids too. I feel lightheaded. I feel like going to sleep. Diary. I think I'm going to lie down for a bit. Good night. / ********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** I asked them if there had ever been another mission here. They denied it and didn't say anything else. So I think we are in big trouble. Big time. And I don't know how we can escape. We must stay here for the mission for 6 months or until we finish it. The scary thing about it? We must study the behavior of an unknown breed of maggots which had been fed human blood. God help us all. https://www.reddit.com/r/postmortem33/comments/gpnh5h/story_master post